Sir, sir, we are live. Anurag, sir.
You can't see me. I can see myself in the camera. My camera is on.
No, ma'am, we can't see you. So we are live. Hello, everyone. I am Renu from the Vegas team, and I would like to welcome all of the students, teachers, parents in the audience for today's webinar on the well-being topic, assertiveness and important communication tool. We all know life. We all know that the vital role of communication plays in our daily life, either school or professional life or personal life. We all need to understand and know a better way to communicate ourselves. Communication is a tool that is extremely vital for expressing our feelings, thoughts, and our points of views, and the need of being assertive in our way of communication. So before I introduce our mentor for today's session, I would like to welcome everyone who joined us live on Facebook to the Facebook audience. I would like to say that you all can ask your question through the comment section. So moving on, I would like to introduce and welcome our mentor on today's session. On today's session, Dr. Madhumati. She is a for a holistic approach onto our child welfare. Dr. Madhumati has a difficult job of trying to help young parents
Good evening.
interrupt the words and action of their children and to get insights into their mental, psychological, and skill makeup. The job she will tell you requires bandwidth larger than the one afforded by a tight training in clinical psychology. And hence, in her abundant diagnostic tools from areas as disparate as homeopathy and others interesting. I'm very happy to welcome you to the Faircase session, ma'am. It's really a great pleasure to have you with all on today's session. And now I would like to hand over the session to you, ma'am, and I request you to kindly start it. Ma'am, are you there? Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Hello. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Madhumati ma'am. I welcome you to the session, and now I would like to invite you to take over the session. Hello, Madhumati ma'am.
Okay,
Am
it
I?
says you cannot start the camera because it has been disabled.
Oh, no, I'll wait. I have given you the access now. You can start the camera. You can turn on your camera.
Now you can see me.
Yes, ma'am.
So there, you must have disabled it in the beginning also because I was trying
Yeah.
on from my laptop, and that makes it easier for me. So because I have my notes here on my phone.
Oh,
So you give me a minute. I'll get on to my laptop again. Give me a minute.
okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay. So, Madhumati ma'am is joining us from her laptop. So, as of now, I request every student to mute themselves. Don't unmute if unless you have any question, and you can write in the chat box if you have any question, or you can raise your hand. We will answer your question in the end of the session. Please mute yourself, whoever unmuted. Hello, ma'am.
Yes, hello. Hello, Renu. One more time.
Uh, yeah, ma'am, I'm good. How are you?
All well. Everything is good. Yes, I think we're
So,
starting a few minutes late.
no problem. We are live now. I would like to invite you to take over the session.
Thank you. Thank you, Renu. So, welcome, viewers. It's the first, we have started our Savan month,
Yes, ma'am.
and there is the voices echoing. Any reason why? Any clue why is the voice echoing? Give me a
Ma'am,
second.
you
I'll
have
do
to
that.
unmute your one. Yeah, ma'am.
Hello? Better? Yeah, now we cannot hear the echo. All right. So another month has begun, and we are in Savan month, as we say. So the rain gods are going to be blessing us, and we are looking forward to better times in pandemic times, where we are all looking at new changes. The schools may reopen in phasic manner. We'll be getting our results. The 10th is out, the 12th is on its way, and kids are one more time planning their lives ahead. So are the youngsters, so are the parents. So we all are going through challenging time, and in this particular way, of course, we have done a lot of discussions about coping in times of pandemic, managing an effective timetable at home, being academically proactive, being energetic, being healthy, and so on. In all of this, what came to my mind today was that let's talk about assertiveness. Assertiveness, now the word assertiveness may be a little bit alien to some people, that, yeah, we've heard this word, but what exactly is it and why is it important? So, to assert means the ability to express yourself clearly. A lot of youngsters, you must have noticed there's some children, even us, we have difficulty in expressing ourselves. Sometimes it could be before a teacher, it could be before a parent, it could be before anybody elder, younger. So we say, I want to say something, I want to describe what I feel, but I am not able to say. I'm just not able to say. I feel guarded, I feel hesitant, I feel scared, I feel the other person will not understand me, or I feel the other person will judge me. So there are a lot of times we are not able to speak our minds. We are confused with what we want to say, how we want to express ourselves. So assertiveness is training, is a form of behavior therapy designed to help people stand up for themselves, to empower themselves. And assertiveness is a response which seeks to maintain a balance between passivity and aggression. Please don't confuse assertiveness to be aggressive behavior. I'll give you many examples. One of the examples, very typical, is a kid has done her homework and left the copy at home. Now, the teacher is a strict teacher, and she says, where is your homework? Why didn't you bring it? Now the child freezes. She wants to say, but she says that, my God, the teacher is so strict, she won't believe me. The teacher is going to punish me, and she won't believe what I'm going to say. Or she'll think I'm lying. So before the child is able to say something, the child starts crying. The teacher gets more angry, saying that, why are you crying? Where is your homework copy? Within that comes the child shuts down, does not speak what she or he is wanting to say to the teacher. Now that what we call as passive behavior. Another example, kids are in the classroom and one child is, playing something, doing something funny, or, just fooling around. And you are asked by the teacher, get up from your seat, why are you doing this? Did you laugh? Did you make this sound? No, you've not done it. And you feel that if you tell this about your friend, that this friend of mine was doing it, the friend will get punished and the friend will get angry with me. for telling her name or his name, again, that this child keeps quiet. Ma'am is saying, why are you not speaking? So it's you who's making that noise. You go out of the class. So the child goes out saying, see, I've not done anything wrong and I got punished by it. So these are certain examples of what really happens to the child or the human being. It could be, and by the way, assertiveness applies, it's a communication tool. It applies in corporates, in educational institutions, in other companies, at home with your family, with your friends. So, what exactly is assertiveness? It does not mean that you become aggressive. So this assertiveness movement goes way back in 1970s, when the women empowerment and the women's rights and the right to vote and all of those things were coming in place in terms of the historical background. Now, what exactly is assertiveness? Assertiveness training is often included, often says that there is a standalone program, but it is actually self-assertion, and it is often used as a tool of training people in corporates, in companies, in training seminars, teamwork groups, and so on. Assertiveness training typically begins with an information gathering. So, how does it all begin? We're not having a training seminar here. I'll quickly go over what exactly needs to be done. So, the assertive person needs to say, okay, these are the things I'm not able to express myself with. It could be with a parent, it could be with a friend. Then you find out, okay, why you're not able to do that. Because the child or the person is having a gap between, we operate at three levels: the thought level, the feelings level, and the behavior level. So, invariably, the thought, when there is a gap between the thought and the behavior, the feelings are not expressed clearly. They don't know. It's all a muddle. That is where lack of assertion happens. So, lack of assertion is the time when you know what you want to say or do. But because feelings come in the way, feelings that the teacher will scold me, my friend will not be my friend anymore. My mom is going to get very angry when she comes to know about angry. So the feelings, when they come interfere from the thought to the behavior freezes.
Hmm.
And when the behavior freezes, we say lack of assertion. In fact, the reason I also brought this up as a topic, many a times, kids, listeners, viewers, many a times we have noticed in a clinical experience also, in clinical psychology experience, is when, let's say, a patient comes and says, I'm very depressed, I'm very upset, I'm very sad. Now, it may look like depression. The person may be going through depression. When you further look into it, you find out that this person is unable to express himself or herself clearly to others. So, lack of assertiveness, if it is there, can actually hamper your productivity at workplace, at home, bring your self-esteem down, and you can feel a lack of control in the environment, and you may feel that the world is out there to attack you or to punish you, and you feel helpless. So imagine a psychological symptom like depression, sometimes in some cases, actually says, it actually shows that the person is having problems asserting himself or herself. So I was talking about this woman, so I'm just quickly going over what she said because I've written it down. She says, I don't like meeting people. I don't make friends easily. I know what to say when I meet people. I don't know what to say when I meet people for the first time. My children never understand me. I find people very pushy. My spouse and I are always quarreling. Why can't people tell when I mean no? Why don't people understand when I say no to them? No one listens to me. And then she says there is no getting away from people. That means it's so difficult to deal with people. So a person now comes, now we're looking at, okay, this is a helpless situation to be in. Then we say that who, if I were to say this is one difficult a person who's going through a difficult time. And then let's take a parallel example of a person who is good in assertiveness communication. So a person who has interpersonal competence would often be discussed. So we say, you have good friends, you have good relationship with people. So what are those things that go into it? First criteria, an assertive person is a good listener. An assertive person is a good listener. The second one, assertive person is able to talk about anything and everything. They are not hesitant कि लोग क्या कहेंगे, वो दूसरा वाला सुन के हंसेगा तो नहीं, वो मेरा मजाक तो नहीं उड़ाएगा. Feelings, no? Feelings don't come in the way. They're able to talk about anything and everything. And to anyone also. Not moody. They're not moody. They have a good control over their moods. And they easily get along well with people. You must have noticed we all have some kids now in the class where it could be the class monitor or the popular child in the class. You've noticed how they're able to talk to a person who is academically doing very well and not so well. They're friendly with everybody. They are helpful with everybody. They listen to everybody. Popular kid. A popular kid is a kid who is actually an assertive kid. And assertion does not mean throwing your weight around and being the boss. No, that's aggressive. An assertive kid is, or a human person is, a person who respects everyone for what they are. They do not judge people, they do not put them down, they do not have any hesitation in expressing and talking to that person. Open communication. So assertive people are also able to get on the right side of people. That means they do not get into controversy or fights or arguments. So assertive person is good with conflict resolution. When two people have some argument, they know how to, call it a truce or to minimize or to get rid of that fight. They are generally pleasant and agreeable. They're generally in good mood. They're generally people who say, the light of the class, the pleasant person who's always comfortable with people, who's not affected by people. That person is also non-critical. They do not criticize. They're not saying, I don't like this, I don't like that. This one is that, judging. And they are good leaders. So we're looking at these are the certain, like they say, the personality fabric of who an assertive person is. So we'll try and shorten this since I know I'd love to have certain question answers. We'll not get into the theory part of it. Let's quickly get into, okay, how to become assertive. So let me just quickly scroll. And meanwhile, if anybody has a question, please, raise your hand. Renu will tell me if there is anyone.
Yeah. If anyone has question, please, you can write in the chat box or I will read out your question. Or you can raise your hand if you want to ask the question.
Okay, so let's do that now. Let's continue. So what are the few, I've written down 5 things. If you people are making notes, somebody's writing some points, I think this will be very helpful to know who is an assertive person. They're very simple. So if we know who it is, then we can work towards becoming that, right? So the first one is, like I'm repeating what I said, but if you can write it down, that'll be good. An assertive person feels free to express himself or herself. Through words and actions, they make the statement like, this is me, this is what I feel, this is what I think, and this is what I want. Like I said, the 3 things. This is what I think, this is what I feel, and this is what I want. In other words, there is clarity in self in what is the objective. What do they want? That clarity is there. Okay, that's the first thing. Clarity of thoughts is the first criteria of being an assertive person. A lot of the time we get all confused. What exactly do we want? We're not so sure. We're not very sure. So our attempt is also unsure. Then we get all confused in feelings. So the first point, guys, if you people are making notes, it would help, is having your thoughts clear, what you think, what you feel, and what you want. The second point, an assertive person can communicate with all people at all levels. That means what? It could be a teacher. They don't have this. They don't get वो heartbeat नहीं बढ़ती उनकी palpitation. Principal ma'am has called us. Oh my God! None of that. Okay, ma'am, his sister has called us. So ma'am has called us. Let's go and see what is it. So an assertive person can communicate with all people at all levels, which is it could be a senior, a supervisor, peer group, which means your own classmates. It could be somebody junior. It could be friends, family. It could be Dadaji, it could be uncle, auntie, the ability. Otherwise, they say, no, I'm very shy of this person. Oh, I'm very scared of Dadaji. I'm very scared of Naniji. None of that. So they are not letting their feelings come in the way. They are able to speak their mind to anybody. The third criteria. An assertive person has an active orientation to life. Active orientation. That what does that mean? It means that they know what they want. They are active. They are problem solving here and now. They don't go sitting about, oh, what happened last year to me, that time is gone. Or they don't think about, oh, what is going to happen to me in future, that is yet to come. So people are problem solvers here and now, living in the moment. They don't think about the past too much. They don't think about the future too much. And they're also, their needs and goals are well defined. They know what they are wanting. They know what they seek. They do not wait for things to happen to them. It's not like we'll see how it goes. They do not take things lying down and passively. जैसा होगा ठीक है, ऐसा है तो ऐसे ठीक है, वैसा है तो वैसे ठीक है. They attempt to make things happen to them and clear strategies and approaches. I'll give you an example. There's a kid, I must tell you, we did an assertiveness training in one of the schools, middle school. I must tell you about that. There's a child who felt that she, no matter how much she studies and did well, her teacher would always give her less marks. She felt that the teacher didn't like her. So one method could be, like I just said to you, the second point, let it be my bad luck. I'm just unlucky that my teacher is not liking me. Now that is her feeling towards it. Even if the teacher may not like you, what this child after the assertiveness training did was to have an open, clear communication with the teacher. One day, not when she's in the middle of the class, she actually went up to her and said, Ma'am, can I have a word with you? When are you free? She says, oh, okay, come in the break time, come in the last part of the break, come and talk to me. Now, no child generally has that courage, no? They'll say, oh my God, so nervous. She got over that. She said, I have to tell her how I feel, and she doesn't like me. Because she doesn't like me, that's why she doesn't give me good, proper, correct marks. So she goes up. So imagine getting the courage because she's thinking straight. She's not feeling, she's thinking. She goes up and she says, good afternoon, ma'am. She says, yes, tell me. Let's name her Ekta. So tell me, Ekta, what is the problem? So she looks straight in the face with a neutral, not with anxiety, not anger, no expressions. She says, ma'am, I somewhere feel that you don't like me. And that's why I don't get the right marks and you always cut my marks. Now, clear, well stated. So first the ma'am is taken aback that, oh, she feels I don't like her. So she will ask, she says, why do you think I don't like you? Now, if that child was clear, she says, it is my feeling. So the feelings, she says, feelings, what is it based on? So the whole 5 minutes of communication there got cleared that the child misunderstood that the teacher doesn't like her. There was a time that there were a group of girls who were punished. She was also punished, although she didn't do anything. But everybody, the whole group got punished. Based on that, she felt the teacher doesn't like her. Whereas the fact is, she says, I had to do it for the entire 4 5 girls that you were. And I'm happy you were, but it is not true. It's not that I don't like you. First thing got cleared from this child's mind that the teacher, there's no such thing that the teacher doesn't like me. Now comes, she says, okay, now let me see your copy. Why do you feel I give you less marks? So then based on that, there was further clarification. The teacher apologized. She says, oh, I gave you half mark less. It's completely my mistake, an error. It has nothing to do with how I feel for you. I like you like other kids. So imagine when you assert, your life becomes easier. So this is one example that I could give you. Now let's take the third point, as I was telling you. A third point I've given you, that is, an assertive person has an active orientation to life. Now imagine this child had continued the whole life, the whole year, saying, see, I won't get marks because this teacher doesn't like me. She will stop studying, then she won't care, she will disrespect the teacher will further get upset. So much of confusion with lack of assertiveness, which we can do away with. The fourth point, an assertive person acts in a way they always respect themselves first. They are aware they cannot always win. They accept their limitation. With learning and experience based on our development, we give a broad dimension to a personality. So, which means the important part is to respect yourself. If this child had not respected herself, she would have said, how does it matter? She doesn't like me, doesn't matter. I don't care. But if you respect yourself, you would like to get clarity. You would like to express yourself. And what we say is assert yourself. The fifth point, the truly assertive person does not say yes when they want to say no. So there's a child who constantly helps another child who is not attentive in class. Friends होते हैं दोनों. एक उसको कहता है यार मुझे कॉपी दे दे, give me your homework, give me your assignment, give me your this, give me, keep giving. Now the child who is doing it feels resentful. But because friends हैं, कैसे ना बोले, no कैसे बोले? How do I say no to this kid? She or he will not be my friend anymore. And they don't know how to say no, I'm not. So that means they are not assertive. Now what this child can do is express himself clearly, not have a fight. When you express yourself clearly is, I can help you sometime. I'm not going to help you every time because see, you don't pay attention in class, you disturb me, and then I have difficulty too. So things like that. Coming back to the fifth point, like I said, the ability to say no when you want to say no. Now, as I said in the beginning, an assertive person is a person who respects self and respects others. When do you respect others? When you feel whatever are your rights to express yourself, to say something clearly. Whatever rights you have, the other person also has a right, the same rights. So what we say that, we call it a bill of rights, both those. Which means whatever is applicable to me, it's applicable to the other person too. Which means the other point now is I have a right to, what are these rights that you have? I have a right to state my own needs and set my own priorities. First point. I have a right to judge my own behavior, thoughts, and feelings. Third point. I have a right to make mistakes and should take responsibilities of my mistake. Fourth point. I have a right to ask for what I want. Fifth point, I have a right to offer no reason for justifying my behavior. A lot of the times we tend to explain ourselves, maine ye nahi kiya, wo nahi kiya, this is what I did, this is what I didn't do, please understand. The other person will keep on asking you and you keep on explaining yourself. You have a choice to explain, but you have a choice not to explain also. The sixth point, I have a right to change my mind. Seventh point, I have a right to say yes or no for myself. Eighth point, I have a right to say that I don't know or I don't understand. I have a right to deal with others without being dependent on them for goodwill and approval. हम लोग बहुत बार करते हैं so that we become in their good books. There's a particular teacher who will give you extra work to do to help her out. You just to be in a good books, a good student, you keep doing it, your homework suffers, you're not able to. So getting approval based on lack of assertiveness is not a good thing. So here we have gone over to what is it. Now we talk about the actual technique. We'll try and cut it quick so that you'll say, okay, ma'am, what are the ways how I can, what are the methods we can use to be more assertive. Here is very important, kids. Please, if you can write it down, I'll be very happy. They are very simple points, but if you can write down, only then you can practice it. And there are 9 points in all. Sorry, there are 8 points in all. Very easy. I'll explain to you. It's all fun. It's like a game thing. Okay, so if you have paper pen, you can quickly write it down. We say the actual technique of assertiveness. What is the actual technique? So the first technique is positive thinking. Positive thinking, which means everything is possible. It's worth trying. It's good to try. That's positive thinking. Negative thinking is, oh, whatever I try, it won't work, it won't help. No point. Negative. No. So the first thing is, like we were talking about, thinking has to be correct. Positive thinking. So positive thinking is, so please mute yourself, kids. Mute yourself. Positive thinking is, I must try, and I'm sure it can be done. I must try, I'm sure it can be done. Positive thinking. The second, the second technique, broken record. You've seen that they used to be in long, many years, but there's the LP, that player, it would get stuck. And I will go, and I will go, and I will go. That thing, that needle gets stuck in the LP. That is called broken record, which means what? That you repeat your stand. Let's say you're talking to somebody, you're saying something, and the person interrupts you. But this is not what it is. This is not how it should be. I'll give an example. Suppose your mother is telling you that you must finish your meal, you must finish your lunch on the table, on the plate, that's in your plate. So the child may argue, will say that, but I will have it later, I will keep it on the table, I'll have it. But the mother repeats what she's saying. She's saying, I want you to finish what you have served on your plate. So the child says, no, but every day I eat, no, every day I eat, today I won't have, today I'll finish in the evening. No, why are you saying this? Repeat it. The mother repeats again, I want you to finish the meal that you have served for yourself, which is on the plate. So when you repeat what you want, the chances are the person will do that. The chances are the person will listen to that. The third technique is called fogging, which means this particular fogging technique means in the beginning of the conversation, you tentatively agree to what the person is saying. Suppose the person is saying, when you came to my house, when you came for the birthday party, I didn't like this behavior of yours. So you say the word, I understand. I understand phrase means, this technique is called fogging. The moment you say, I understand, the person will not argue with you straight away more and more. When you say, I understand, I know what you mean. Okay, one of the friends says, you didn't come for my birthday, I'm very upset. Why don't you come? And I'm very angry. The moment you start arguing, but listen, but instead of that, you use the phrase, I understand. This technique is called fogging. Fourth one is called negative assertion. Negative assertion means your friend says, you did not come to my birthday, I'm very angry. Of course, this is all before the pandemic. You know that, because in pandemic, nobody complains like that. Nobody's going to anybody's birthday. So this is before pandemic, and hopefully it'll be in near times, coming times, when we are out of this difficult times. Negative assertion is the friend says, you didn't come on birthday, I'm very angry. So you repeat what she says to you. That means the example that you will say is, I understand and I know that you're very angry. I completely accept my fault. I'm sorry. The moment you accept that you made the other person feel sad on her birthday, instead of getting defensive, but listen, I didn't come because mom didn't allow, blah, 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 blah. वो बात की बात है. That will aggravate argument. But a technique where you say, I'm sorry, I know how you felt because I could not come for your birthday. आपने उसको ये नहीं बोला मेरी बहुत बड़ी गलती होगी, वो तो गलती नहीं है, आप एक्सप्लेन करोगे क्यों नहीं गए. But negative assertion is to admit and to explain, to say that I know how you feel and I am sorry I could not come to your birthday. This helps in minimizing the argument at that point. Fifth point, negative inquiry. For example, negative inquiry means the skill comprises of prompting the opponent to make further critical statements and examine his or her structure of rights and wrongs. So when this child, please mute yourself, kids, unless there's something to ask. I think there are some people who've written. What is written in the chat box, Renu? Anything important?
No, ma'am, no. I'm just saying, please note down the points that ma'am is saying.
Okay. So negative inquiry. It means by persistently using questions. So when this kid says you didn't come for my birthday, so negative inquiry would mean, I understand how you felt. I'm sorry I made you upset that I didn't come for your birthday. Then it will be like, okay, how many people came? Who all were there? Do you know it was raining that day? So you become more inquiring. You want to show to that person that there were other reasons without, of course, attacking. It's not attacking. Do you remember it was raining? How many people did turn up? Okay, how was your birthday? How did it go? What happened there? So when you are exploring, we're talking about negative inquiry, which means once you've then admitted that you made the other person feel bad, then you inquire what exactly happened. And then you do explain that it was raining and my driver was not able to make it because not well, whatever the details were, is when that is the sixth one which comes, that is free information. You must give free information of why things did not pan out the way you wanted. Seventh point is self-disclosure. This means you again repeat that you want, self-disclosure is you wanted to come for the birthday. You had bought the birthday gift. But because the driver was not able to come because he was ill and it was raining, you felt you missed out on the birthday party. It was your loss. So self-disclosure, seventh point. Eighth one, workable compromise. Workable compromise can be, yes, I made a mistake. I should have informed you much before and not kept you waiting for so long. Self-workable compromise. We don't say, ho gaya to ho gaya, ab kya kar sakte hain? Okay, the driver didn't come, okay, fine. No. So that in future, this does not happen. Workable compromise. So the other person feels respected. Right? So I hope, guys, you have written down all that we needed to in terms of assertiveness, the techniques. And the important part of assertiveness is that you respect yourself and you respect the other person too. Okay? Renu, is there any question coming to your mind? Any example you can give where you can say, We'll take it up. We'll take more. But anything on your mind? Any example where you say, how do you assert? Is there any point on your mind?
Yes, ma'am. I want to share experience that I'm also kind of shy when I have to speak in front of others. This thing happens with me right at this age. This thing happened with me also. Like I am 22, but at this age I get very shy. I'm not able to speak in front of others. So I want to know how I can cope up this thing. Because it's a very, I think, lot of people don't like these things. Like when I get shy in front of them while I'm speaking. So I want to know how I can change this.
Okay. Good point. Very nice, Renu. Very good point. You have said it very clearly, and I think we'll go over it very nicely. देखो, when are we not able to express our? आपने देखा होगा अपने friends के साथ आप बहुत बहुत frank होंगे, है ना? In certain circumstances, we are not. Now, why does that happen? Is because somewhere we are not confident of ourselves. We feel either we don't know much about that topic or about that place. So you need to build your confidence in terms of your skills. For example, I can speak nicely here right now, but suppose, Renu, suppose in our assertiveness today, out of the panelists, there were 5 or 10 more psychologists, right? Then I would have had, like I said, then I have to be confident that I am at par with them. मैं उनके level की हूँ. I'm as equal as them. I should not feel maybe I don't know enough. Maybe I should prepare better. Then I will not be able to express myself. So learning and growth, Renu, and all you viewers out there, is part of life. We all are learning, growing every moment. Even today's workshop, even if it is a one-sided, I wish it was more interactive, but I think the format is like that we're not able to. It's not real time. We're not in a real classroom situation. So within that, even this workshop, I'm learning from stuff. I'm saying, okay, how I can shorten this for, youngsters. It's a learning process for me too. So coming back to another method, so the thing is build up your confidence, build up your skills. जो चीज आपको बोली, जो सपोज आपको किसी से कोई चीज बात करनी है, उसके टॉपिक के बारे में पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन लो, पूरा इन्फॉर्म होके फिर आपको बोलना व्हाट डू यू वांट टू से, व्हाट इज योर टू सेंटर, what do you want to express. More clarity of thoughts you will have, thoughts. Write them
Yes.
down. Suppose if things are not clear, write them down. This is what I think, this is what it is, this is what. Prepare and then meet your senior, then meet a classroom or prepare. Preparation is very important. That helps to speak one's mind out. So there's another technique, guys. Of course, techniques I've used, but I'm talking about some very quick forms. So I'll quickly go over a few of them. In assertiveness, always try to use the word I instead of you. I'll give you an example. Suppose your friend is late. So you say, one example is, you are late, I'm very upset with you. You means you're attacking the person. You're blaming, accusing. You are late. The same thing can be spoken in an assertive way. I'll give you the example, the same thing. I am upset. I am upset. I am upset and I got restless, waiting, thinking, where have you gone? The moment you say you are late, वो तो उसको भी पता है ना वो late है. You're not doing anything by saying that. You're actually making that person defensive. You are late. No. I was restless and panicky. I kept waiting and wondering what happened. हो गया ना, चेंज हो गया दोनों के रिस्पॉन्स अलग हो गए. Yeah. So try and use the I word as much as possible. Somebody speaks very rudely to you. Somebody says, you're such an idiot or something, you're such a fool or some word they use. We get angry and we say, okay, the same thing to you also. You are like this, you. What if you change the response and say, I'm shocked you feel like that. I'm shocked that this is what you think about me. वो आगे कुछ बोले, ये बोल ही नहीं पाएगा. Okay? So I word express karo. You word is attacking word. I word is self-expressing word. So try to utilize the word I as much as you can. Okay. Second, we've talked about it. We'll quickly go over it again. Judging or labeling. Same thing. You ki jagah, you are inconsiderate, you are hostile, you are this, you are that, arrogant. If you convert that, you'll say, I feel betrayed when you criticize me in front of others. I feel like this. I feel like that. Okay. The other one is, there's another one, friends में होता है ना, you don't give a damn about me. है ना, तुम मेरी बिल्कुल परवाह नहीं करते हो. दूसरा उसका कन्वर्ट को क्या कैसे कन्वर्ट मतलब असर्टिवनेस कैसे होगा. I feel neglected when you avoid me. I feel neglected. You don't give a damn about me. वो नहीं. I feel neglected. I feel left out when you ignore me, avoid me. है ना? Then other one is एक बहुत बहुत बार यूज होता है. You shut up. You shut up.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. The other answer to that is, I wish that you just keep quiet for a bit. I wish. Please. I wish you let me speak. All right? So I wish. Huh? And we also have to stop using stuff like questioning, arguing. Arguing, you don't know what you're saying, you don't know what you're thinking. Argue. Sarcasm. Avoid sarcastic behavior, statements. Disapproval, you're terrible. I don't like the way you dress, I don't like the way you talk. Disapproval. Threatening, अगर ऐसे करोगे तो मैं ऐसे कर दूंगा. Avoid. Moralizing, कि भगवान का देखो, भगवान से डरो. Moralizing, you should, this is not right behavior, God will punish you. None of that. So there are a lot of things, but I'll quickly just going over it basically. I'm looking at certain steps that you can give. So practicing I, like I said, very important. Only when you pen down what you are thinking, please write them down. When you write stuff down, you're able to express your feelings better. And what else? So बहुत लोगों को जो assertive नहीं होते ना, रेनू, वो लोग अपनी feelings को actually में नहीं समझते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
They are unable to convert their thoughts into feelings. That's why they are either passive or they're aggressive. So passive is on one side, aggressive is on the other side. In the center is assertive behavior. ना आपको पैसिव होने की जरूरत है कि सब लोग कुछ भी बोलते रहे तुम चुपचाप बैठे सुनते रहो. ना आपको अग्रेसिव होने की जरूरत है, where you become dominating and difficult and throwing your weight around.
If any student has any question, please raise your hand or you can ask the question. Charu ma'am, if you ask the question. I think no one has a question. They
Okay.
understand the topic
Okay.
very well.
So I'll give now few examples. Again, I'm saying very important. अब लास्ट में एक चीज है बस कि ये चीज तो समझ में आ गई. अब हमें करना क्या है? What we do is there's something what we known as we maintain a log book. Log book का मतलब you take a copy and pen, and you write down places where you're not able to assert yourself. You're not able to express yourself freely. कहाँ पे? There will be some place. It could be a workplace. It could be with a parent. It could be with a friend. कौन है वो, एक पर्सन या दो पर्सन, जहां भी, write that down first. Where? Now within the where, you take one situation and say, okay, where, why? The next question is why. You will know why, because you will think you, so write that thing down. Log books mein, you identify a place where you can start practicing the assertiveness. And the techniques are the same what I said to you. You utilize those techniques by using the words I understand, I know how you feel. And जहां आपने गलती की आप admit करो उसको, that oh, I made a mistake, I'm sorry about that, I didn't mean to, I will make sure I don't do it in future. हम लोग बहुत डिफेंसिव, तो those techniques when you use, you maintain a log book कि आप assert कितने बार आपने किया दिन में, how many times you were able to assert yourself. Also remember, an important part of assertiveness is what I said to you, जितना right आपको है बात express करने में, उतना ही right सामने वाले को है अपनी बात express करने में. Don't assume that assertiveness means only expressing yourself and not listening to the other person. ठीक है? Suppose you say to the friend that I have done this and this is what has happened and you don't respect me enough. Now the other person says, I don't like what you do, those 2-3 things. Now you don't listen to that person. You have to give a right to that person too in terms of what that person is saying. So remember the first thing I said, a good listener. Very important. When you're a good listener, you will be able to understand the other person's point of view and you will be able to get along better with people. So guys, अपना assertiveness techniques try करो, अपनी बात, speak your mind clearly, be respectful to the other person and listen to the other person also clearly, and try to reach a, like we said, conflict resolution. Why, when does that happen? That happens when I'm okay, you're okay. Okay. For example, आप क्रिकेट खेलते खेलते आपके नेबर के खिड़की टूट गई, अब सब लोग खेल रहे हैं, 4-5 boys or girls playing. Now the group, now the, वही बात जो हर जगह होता है, मूवीज में भी दिखाते हैं, that lady comes down, she says, who has done this, and I'm going to, I'm not going to get the ball. वो सारे बच्चे भाग जाते हैं. It doesn't help, because that then the person will not allow you to play cricket there or football, whatever you're playing. So assertiveness is, it's a fact that okay, there's one person who hit, but we are all it's a team. We're all playing in a team. That person who hit did not intentionally plan to break that window pane. We all, those kids know. So the kids, they can run away. पहले तो reaction यही होता है ना, भाग जाते हैं कि आंटी गुस्सा करेंगी और बहुत गुस्सा करेंगी. You can run away for a few minutes. You get together again as a group, जो आप लोग खेल रहे थे, टीम खेल रहे थे, out of which 2 members, 2-3 people go up, so they have clarity कि गलती तो की है हम. We'll not name one person. We've all done it together. We're all playing together, right? So the respect for the other person. We're not accusing anybody. And then we talk of problem solving. Problem solving में आप उनसे पूछ सकते हैं, आंटी आपका इसका सब्सिट्यूट, हम इसको पैसा पे कर देंगे. How much is the window pane? We'll pay you, and we are sorry about it. So don't give a. So what you're doing is you're respecting your other. It's not a game against one, you against the other person. आप अगर दूसरों के साथ आप स्टैंड अप नहीं होगे जिंदगी में, तो आपके साथ भी लोग स्टैंड अप नहीं होते. So in a group situation, always learn to respect the group that you're in. आप किसी से बड़े नहीं हो, आप किसी से छोटे नहीं हो, आप इक्वल हो, आपका इक्वल रिस्पेक्ट एंड राइट है. वो जिस बच्चे ने वो बैट फेंक के मारा, वो बुरा लड़का नहीं है, उससे गलती से हो गई. So try it. So the conflict resolution happens when the person admits. No, one person will speak, 2 people will go. सारा ग्रुप तो जाएगा नहीं, पूरे सारे बच्चे तो सारे. That's how. So the ability to express and admit one's fault and find a solution to that. उसका जो भी नुकसान हुआ है, जो भी चीज हुई है, if you come across that, auntie, how can we substitute, help you? We'll all pitch in and give the money and you can get the window pane. One example, right? So respecting the rights of others as much as it is your right is one of the important part of assertion. Any other
If
point?
anyone has any question, you can raise your hand to ask questions. I think no one has a question because
Okay.
they are no one like no one have any questions. They understand the topic very well. I like to thank you, ma'am, for giving such wonderful insights about the topic. I must say the students will gain surely the knowledge today, and they will apply these rules and points in their life, and will become a good listener, a good speaker, and will give respect to everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us and giving such a fruitful knowledge to everyone. On the behalf of Faircase, I'd like to thank you and to the audience who joined us today through Zoom and to Facebook Live. Thank you so much for joining us. And I would like to take few minutes of the audience to share my screen. Actually, I'm not able to share my screen, so I would like to say that currently FED is organizing a competition, which is India as I see competition, where students from all across India and students with special needs can participate. They just have to write essay, poetry, or make a painting, and have to upload it on their social media platforms by tagging Faircase or India as I see. The more who gets the like will be the winner, and there are cash rewards. You can go to the faircase.indiasic.com page, and for further details you can check out the page. And if you have any query, you can mail us at info@faircase.com. And again, I like to thank you, Dr. Madhumati ma'am, for joining us, and to the audience for joining us. Thank you. Have a lovely evening, everyone. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye. Wish you the best of luck, all of you. Take care.
Bye.